This is Mary of the Anchorage Memories Club.
And this is Mike. In this edition of the Anchorage Memories Club, we're looking at Cap Lathrop, an Anchorage pioneer, and by the way, the one who built the 4th Avenue Theater. You may have heard his name before, and you may even remember that for years, all the movie theaters in Anchorage were built and operated by the Lathrop Corporation. And the most well-remembered of those was the 4th Avenue Theater. But as a pioneer, Cap Lathrop was involved in many successful businesses.
Lathrop's Alaskan adventures began in 1895. Those included a shipping and freighting company that would later serve the Klondike Gold Strike. In 1897, Lathrop obtained his Master Mariner's license. He then became the captain of a steam schooner he already owned called the L.J. Perry, and with that he earned the nickname Captain or Cap Lathrop. On February 18, 1901, when he was in Valdez, Alaska, Cap Lathrop and Lillian McDowell were married at the residence of Reverend D. W. Crane. That wedding was the first ever in Valdez. Cap Lathrop started his chain of movie theaters in the early 1910s. And by the way, he always used the British spelling theater, spelled Theatre, for his movie houses. It all started with the Empress in Cordova, Alaska, which was first opened in 1911. Then he built Anchorage's first movie theater, the Empress, in 1916. At that time, the early settlers and railroad workers living in the tent city that would become Anchorage, Alaska, were starved for entertainment. So there was always a full house at every movie shown at the Empress.
Mary, did you know that the silent movie titled Peggy, starring Billy Burke, was the very first movie shown to the tent city population at the Empress? And while the movie house opened without one, a theater organ was later added so local audiences enjoyed music while they watched movies. The Empress showed movies well into the 1950s. Now, did you know this? Parts of the Empress theater organ were later used in the Uncle's Pizza organ in Anchorage.
While the first radio station in all of Alaska and Anchorage was KFQD, Lathrop started the second radio station in Anchorage, KENI. May 2nd, 1948 marked the very first broadcast by Kenai Radio. Both KENI and KFAR Radio in Fairbanks were operated under the banner Midnight Sun Broadcasting, with Cap Lathrop as the company president.
Mary, I have one for you. Did you know that there was a movie studio in downtown Anchorage? That's right, a movie studio. In the summer of 1922, Lathrop started the Alaska Motion Picture Corporation. The first and only movie they produced was a 1923 silent production titled The Chichacos. In November of that year, a 7,000-square-foot movie studio was constructed at the end of 3rd Avenue in Anchorage. On March 8, 1923, the actors who were starring in the movie, including Eva Gordon, William Dills, and Albert Van Antwerp, as well as others, arrived in Anchorage from Oregon, New York, and Hollywood. A town-wide party was held in their honor. It was billed as a free dance and jollification at the Movie Dome.
Scenes for the Chichacos were filmed in Anchorage, Denali, and Goodwood, where they recreated the famous Chilkoot Pass. When the movie was completed, it played to packed houses and happy audiences all around the territory of Alaska.
But in its stateside showings, it was not a commercial success. Critics called the plot hokey and the title unpronounceable. Stateside audiences agreed. The Chichacos was the first feature-length movie ever made entirely in Alaska, and the first and only movie Cap Lathrop ever produced.
The Movie Dome studio on 3rd Avenue was converted into an exhibition center for the Western Alaska Fair in 1924. It later served as the Anchorage Community Center.
Looking at Austin Eugene Cap Lathrop, his Anchorage and indeed Alaska legacy was vast. And like many others who traveled to Anchorage in the days when Anchorage was nothing more than a raggedy tent city on the muddy banks of Ship Creek, Cap Lathrop will long be remembered. Well, it's time to put down your popcorn, milk duds, and soda. Did you enjoy this edition of the Anchorage Memories Club? Until next time, Mike and Mary, the Anchorage Memories Club.